Hello handcrafters, today I am making my first fall inspired soap. This one will be called Falling in Love, hence the heart. Before I start, I always gather out all the tools I'll need to make the soap. So I have my strainer, my spatulas, my silicone spatulas, and then my blender and my fork. And I am using pumpkin apple butter. This is a Nature's Garden fragrance. I have my standard mold. I have my oils. I have my heart embeds, and the temperature of that was 118 degrees. And so this lye solution is 94 degrees. They are both under 120, so it is good to go for me. So I'm going to start out first by unmolding this heart. It is 2 shades of like reddish pink. I use rose clay to make this. I made it about 2 days prior, and I ran out of soap mold, or not soap mold, but I ran out of soap batter, so that's the reason why it's different shades. But in the soap bar, it's going to be the same. You'll see. I start by adding kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal, which I add to most of my soap bars. All the main ones that I sell will have that in it, and the colloidal oatmeal is for a gentle exfoliation, and the kaolin clay is for a nice slip, smooth feel, plus it aids in helping the scent last longer. So I always pour my lye solution in through a strainer. That way, if there are any undissolved lye bits, that they will be strained out so they won't go into the soap batter. But regardless, I always pH test my soap bars at the end to make sure that they are not lye heavy. And lye heavy is just when there has been added too much lye or not enough oils have been added to the soap batter. I use mainly the same recipe for most of my soap bars, and I tend to measure them all out at the same time, so usually it's fine. But I slowed this down here so you guys could see a little bit of the tracing of the soap. Tracing is just a term used to describe when the soap batter will trail on the top, so it'll create like little lines. So you can still see it here of the soap, showing that it has thickened, and then it's ready for pour once you reach at least a light trace. Here I am just adding the fragrance oil from Nature's Garden, which was the pumpkin butter mango. It smells really like pumpkins and apple. It's a really nice fall scent. And as you can see, my soap batter has thickened up. It's reached like a medium trace. The original plan was to put the hard embed in the middle of the soap batter, but it was a little more difficult to do that, so I decided to move it to the side so that I could have one hard on the side, and then I did frost the other side with soap frosting. And look at how creamy that was. I really love like the creamy look of soap. It is so addicting. Usually with soap frosting, I let it sit in the containers that it was in until it's like really, really ready to pour. But this one right here started to thicken up very, very quickly. That fragrance definitely did accelerate the soap batter. So as you can see, it was ready to go. It was ready to pipe. So I always put the piping bag in another container just so I can get it in there easily. And then I just kind of use my fist to kind of push all the soap, because let me tell y'all, like, this was really, really thick and hot. Oh my gosh, I am surprised that like the soap batter didn't start to crack, because it was extremely hot to pipe. In my head, this was going to be like perfect rose like piping, but that's not exactly what happened. I think it still came out pretty, but this is not how I imagined it in my head. So I was just pretty much improvising, because then when I saw that like my little circle roses wasn't working, I said, let me just go to the standard piping that I do, where I just kind of squirt it out into little dollops and just put all of that on the side. And then at the last minute, I said, you know what, I love my fork so much, and I'm going to do like a fork in to the soap piping. And here is the finished look. I think it came out really nice, and as you can see, it is darker, right? So I knew that fragrance oil was going to darken the batter, So I'm not surprised by this. I used this fragrance oil last year. And you can see it almost looks like it didn't reach a complete gel phase because how light it is in the middle. But as you can see on the right hand side, it definitely darkened up. And that was just after, I think, like 2 days. It was already dark. And it got slightly darker, but not by too much. And it still came out really pretty. But I knew that the color was going to change. I was expecting that. But I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch my video. And if you did watch it all the way to this point, please put a heart emoji or write heart, or sorry, not write, but type heart in the comments. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And for now, Black Hands are out. Bye-bye, guys.